This is Name Tag Alexander, and you tuned in to another episode of the LABL podcast presented by Leading Be Legendary. We are on episode 40 of the podcast, and for this episode, we have featured special guest Shell. Shell is a vocalist, songwriter. I want to say she was involved in stage management for performers. What else? Oh, a full-time teacher in DC. And what else? Sports fan. I can name a lot for this. However, she's multi-talented. We had her on for this episode. What's cool about this episode was that I was going to take a long break from the podcast. However, what's cool about this episode is Shell hit me up randomly and just was like, she was supposed to have been on a while back, and we kind of like put it off. Obviously, it was personal matters that stopped the process, which, timing is everything. So it was perfect timing with her reaching out to me and saying, yo, I'm ready to do the podcast. I'm like, all right, cool. Now, as I was going through the process of editing this podcast, I had an article that came to my email. I'm registered with Talkspace as far as their alerts and everything, newsletters. Anyway, I had this article from Jessica Weinberger with Talkspace about why pursuing your passions can increase anxiety. Dope thing about that, this article that I received obviously was after we recorded the podcast episode. So like I said, I got it. I was editing the episode. Anyway, we spoke about stuff like this during the episode, just that anxiety being real, that stress being real, even facing depression. And that's something that independent artists, I can't speak for artists on the high. I can't speak for major label. I don't know. I can kind of relate more so to the independent artists, but that's something that artists deal with. Just let's just say creatives in general. That's something that's real. What's dope is that when I was on the Connected Experience with my brother, Black Beethoven, shout out to the Connected Experience, College of Hip Hop. That episode kind of opened up a whole nother light for me as far as where I wanted this podcast to go, and saying well, maybe we should kind of deal with more of the internal when having, folks featured on this podcast, this platform. So that was a big deal for me. So it was pretty cool that, Shell got a chance to unpack and speak about a lot that she realistically hadn't really spoken about to many people. We kind of, artists, we go through this thing, we kind of just all right, well, I want to create through my art, but at the same time, you can't create the pain away. That's one thing that we brought up before recording the episode. You can't create the pain away, but at the same time, it can be painful to not create. Anyway, I'll get to going. I get in my bag and get to talking, and it'll be forever before the episode even starts. So just get into the episode. A good listen. Make sure you share it with everybody. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Look at me. It's going to be in the description. Check out the episode.
Let me live out my dream. Let me live out as what I intended to be. If you doubt me, then I can probably see. Well, my success is not what you expected of me. But I'ma live out my dream.
No, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
We ain't heard nothing like that.
They about to be the 04 though, so I don't know.
Nah,
I ain't told yet.
Yeah, so let me know come mid-season where we at. Then I'm a little bit more excited. That's the thing with Detroiters, with sports, we get real hype at the beginning. We can win one game and we're oh, it's about to be over.
Not no more. I got PTSD. I don't do it no more.
With the Lions?
Obviously, I'm not doing NFL right now.
Man.
I'm not doing NFL, so my life has been stress-free on Sundays because I don't have to worry about the Lions.
See, I never really did the NFL like that. Anyway, I probably watched it because other people was watching it, but for me to just watch it alone.
I was I'm a Calvin Johnson fan to the end, from Georgia Tech all up.
Word.
I'm ready. But now I stand with Cap, so
yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where that's at. But Pistons 04, Rip Hamilton 32.
Man, nothing like it. Nothing like it. That's still memories instantly kick in. Once people end up mentioning that era, that just was that was something special. That matter of fact, that was my graduation year. Yep. Yep, I
Oh
was just coming out of high
wow,
school,
that's
so that was
awesome.
like super special. Like we coming out of high school, Pistons just won. It's like nigga, what? like what you mean?
Well, you
Yep.
know when I just saw the Lakers and the Rockets,
Ah,
the little fight, I was like, oh,
the
Malice at
sneak
the Palace,
spit.
like Brawl at the Palace. Come on now,
That ain't
that's nothing.
nothing. Yeah, you know
That's
I
nothing.
seen
The rain
somebody
on
posted on
hell.
Twitter. Yeah, they put it up on Twitter like y'all thought that was a fight. Like they showed. I was like,
No,
damn.
that was nothing.
Like
Come on now,
this is what y'all
Pacers.
hype about.
Wasn't it Pacers? Pacers and
Yep.
Pistons, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Infamous brawl
See,
at the Palace.
shout outs to everybody. I know my stuff. I know my sports.
Yeah,
I
that
stay
shit
on
was
it.
wild. Like man, nothing like it. The game ain't really been the same since. You ain't really seen too much pop off like that since that's happened.
No, but we had Ben. Like people wasn't about that life, but they
Yeah.
was about that life. I
Yep.
think they was about that life before they came to Detroit, but I think Detroit just kind of
It
like
just
just
brought it out of them.
really come on now, boss up.
Yep. So what's this journey with you? So you done went from music, you teaching now. Talk about that. Like just going from that to this next step. You teaching now, say middle school.
I am teaching now. That is it's been a lot. So I was always singing.
Yeah.
And I went from singing to doing live show production and stage management.
I remember that.
So I remember doing an event at Cobo Hall. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was something around the holidays where they gifted the families. And I did stage management. Well, I volunteered 1 year. And my best friend, her father was actually one of the people that was over it. The next year, he let me be the stage manager for
Okay.
it. So people noticed me. They got my contact information. By the time I moved to Atlanta, they hit me up like, hey, I have somebody who's in need for somebody to help for this youth conference in Chicago. Like, can you apply? And I'm like, boom, all right, cool. Never got sent to Chicago. Never worked for the person who I applied for. They sent me to Baltimore to do logistics for a youth conference. And I went there. It definitely wasn't what I expected. However, it was so many high school students who were excited about it, like a new career path, and
Right.
like they gravitated towards me. So the next year, I actually worked for the same company. It was seasonal to be an advisor. And I kept going back. And by the time I moved to Miami, my whole resume was just either music or youth services. So I got hired as a para and a music teacher. And when Miami, like when I was done with that, because, I move fast. So when I got ready to move to D.C., I was subbing in D.C., and I got placed at a school full time and just rode the wave.
Wow. Yeah, I was you definitely moved fast because within that conversation right there,
Right,
I
that's
done heard
God's
Atlanta,
plan.
Chicago, but it didn't happen in Chicago, but
Atlanta,
in Baltimore. And then it's like he said,
yeah,
you mentioned DC earlier,
D.C.,
got Miami.
Miami.
Like, yeah, now talk
I
about a
know.
resume.
It's been 6 years, though. This year it'll be 6 years since I moved from Detroit, though.
But it
So,
flew by though. Like
yeah,
that's crazy.
like crazy, right? I
Super
feel like I
crazy.
was just in Detroit yesterday, but at the same time, it's been a journey, but
Yep, definitely was
it's been a journey.
2011 because I
I'll leave it
remember.
there.
Um,
It's been a
it's
journey.
it's interesting. I could say that. Very, very, very interesting. Just like I fell back as far as just kind of maneuvering on the scene a lot. But it's funny
Mhm.
how that when I fell back, more started happening for me. I will say
Oh
that.
my God, yes,
You know what I'm saying?
that's true.
Like you get lost in being caught up on the scene and who's cool, who should I really connect with. And I guess the thing that if you're gonna do that, you have to connect the dots. You gotta really like build those resources and network. One thing like Detroit, and that could be anywhere in general as far as the music scene. It's like once we instead of harboring or I guess I should say like nurturing that networking, those relationships, we kind of just automatically go, all right, we got to be friends. These my friends, or whatever. And it's like, no, we could really be taking this to the next level. And that's why they always compare us to Atlanta. Be like, man, out in Atlanta, them niggas ain't cool. Them niggas beefing, but they still got songs together and they still pushing the culture forward. So,
You know, I don't know. I don't know if that's always, you know, all the way true with Atlanta.
as far as Atlanta, you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, you've been.
Atlanta was a vibe. Atlanta was a vibe. Atlanta was cool. It was a lot of people putting each other on. But Atlanta is a melting pot. So you have to understand, like, it's a lot of cats from Detroit. You got people from Philly. You got people from, like, you got people from all over. There's people from Miami there. It's just every major city that you can think of where people are on. Like, I met people from Houston that were in Atlanta that were on and playing for artists. It's a melting pot.
Like, why
it
is
a
that,
big
though?
Detroit, too, though.
You know what I mean? Like, why is that?
I just think it's bigger. It's a bigger market. However, what I will say is, when it comes to industry, Detroit is in there. Period. Like, when I moved to Atlanta, I was gigging within 1 week. And it wasn't just because I was from Detroit. You know, I had an internship at Shane Park right before I had moved. So I had met people that were coming in, you know, from everywhere, like whatever city they were with, whatever city they were from. But the artists they were with, I would just, you know, try to connect, like, hey, where you from? Da-da-da. I had no idea I was moving to Atlanta at that time. But I just always kept in contact. And it was just really crazy because it's so many Detroit people on the scene and industry, but Atlanta and LA just seems to be those melting pots, like just for where everything is happening, you know?
Especially LA. And it's like how you said, just the industry being there. And it can happen here too in the city. I see it happening. Like you see certain things is going on. It's not going to happen overnight though. I must say that. But it's happening.
So, I mean, people might be mad from the city when I say this, but I don't see Detroit being a melting pot. I see Detroit always being a source, though. And I'm cool with Detroit being a source.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's always going to be a place where people are like, oh, if I need the best musicians, I'm going to go here. Like, I think it's Detroit. I think it's Philly. I think it's, okay, I'll leave it at Detroit and Philly for now.
Like I'm trying to think of others.
I'm going to leave it at Detroit and Philly before I get in trouble. But no, you know, like, the D definitely just, I mean, we have so much talent. We have some of the best musicians, and people always think that I'm biased. But when you
that's like a fact.
See, like, people that's playing in the industry, like, come on, Lady Gaga had Kern. Kern is a legend. One of my favorite concerts ever in life, Destiny's Child, live in Atlanta. And Kern was their MD. And Kern is from Detroit.
See?
And his brother Valdez is from Detroit and was Usher's MD for forever. So we're talking about living legends that are from our city, born, bred, raised, that tour and still come back to our city. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So I'm going to just be quiet if I get in trouble from other people from other cities, but I'm always going to put on for the hometown.
And Baltimore going to be on your head. What you mean? You ain't saying nothing about B-More?
Well, you know what? I don't live in Baltimore, so I'm happy. I live in D.C., but, you know, I'm still trying to know the lay of the land. However, I'm always a D girl, so I don't care.
Oh, the whole go-go music movement, they're going to be on your head. They going to come for you.
I know. My boyfriend used to sing in a go-go band, but look, I'm still a D girl. So
all Wale fans, they coming for you.
Look, what's that slight word like I said?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now we was talking about this earlier, just to make a sharp transition. Like we were speaking about just like stress, anxiety. Cause you reminded me like cause as you say you was like you got ghosts for a minute, but then you hit me up like, yo, like we still doing the show or whatever. And I'm like, are you like you remember what we talked about? I'm like, all right, enlighten me. And you were like, stress, anxiety, depression. I'm like, okay. I'm like, she ready to unpack. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about like how. Because you made a saying where you said you weren't creating for a while. You felt like it was depressing to
Mhm.
create, but at the same time, and this if you're willing to share it, it was about, being depressed because you weren't able to create, but at the same time, it being depressing to create. And then you said it's like death or death.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is when I reached out to you, wasn't to it wasn't to even talk on this platform. It was to talk to you because I remember that we had this like conversation. I was supposed to do a podcast and I backed
Yep.
out and like I had all this anxiety about it and I had stuff going on. And I'm just getting into a place with myself with the help of therapy, with the help of just, like
Speak
just
on it.
new
Speak on it.
practices, everything, just, being able to confront things that I've shied away from. And I remember I was really excited when we talked about it originally. And it gave me so much anxiety. It's just like, I can't do it. And I backed out at the very last minute. So I was like, you know what? Now that I'm in a better place, I'm not completely healed, but I'm in a better place. So let me reach out to Sad because what he was saying was so relevant to what I'm going through. And now I feel like I'm in a place where I know I'm not the only artist that's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through this.
I'm glad you spoke on
Um,
that. And that's ill that you say that because when you backed out last minute, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just a thing that artists have, but I knew it's something she going through. You know what I mean? Like it's that's all it is.
I was so geeked. I was like, and then I was like, I can't do it. So it was like, for me, I didn't really grow up talking about the importance of mental health.
Neither of us did
Um, like, you know, black people, but definitely Detroit people.
at
You say
all.
Robitussin, you drink some Vernors when you sick,
Definitely get some
pray,
Vernors. Definitely get some Vernors. Drink
and
some
that's
Vernors and
it,
say your prayers. That's it. That was the remedy
and
right
say your
there.
prayers. And get some Robitussin if you coughing, maybe some Claritin or some Benadryl if you sneezing.
Yep.
So it was very little room to tend to your mental state or, your mental health. So we've all seen like toxic behavior, whether we engaged in it, entertained it, or even been raised by it. And it gave us a lot of bad habits.
Yep.
So for me, it helped me to build a lot of walls. And I think that I can't speak for other people, but my anxiety is triggered by toxicity. I think that's how you say that word.
We're gonna roll with
But
it.
just,
It's gonna be a word today.
that it's a word today. But I think my anxiety is triggered, toxic behavior and just things that I've seen, things that I've witnessed and been through. Um, and what I started noticing was, I should be happy, but I'm not. Everything is going right, but it's not. So I started to understand that depression is not just when you're sad. Depression can be when everything is going on
Mm-hmm.
good. But you still are in this place. You're still in this rut. So you said something to me when you said, on one end, you can't create the pain away, but on
Yeah.
another end, it's painful to create. And I was like, damn, I feel that. Because as artists and as writers, we want to be transparent. But some truths are too hard to expose.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, will my following get this, or am I about to kill my wave?
Yeah. That's wild that you say that. Man, that's wild. Like we ain't talked in like forever, but like the fact that you saying this is
At
like
all.
that's something that I was going through as well. So it was just interesting when you came around. It was like, yo, I'm ready to do the show. I'm like, all right, and then you just start naming the topics. I was like, okay,
I know you
like
probably thought I was crazy. I was
nah. I'm
like,
like,
no,
I'm
Tech, I
like,
need to
finally,
talk because
I'm
it's
like,
like,
speak on it.
you know, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like everything is supposed to be going right. Like,
Yeah.
if I ain't gonna be super transparent, but at the same time, like, I got this nice ass place in Capitol Hill, DC, that a year or 2 years ago I wouldn't have been able to afford. Just got furniture in here, like love of my life. Got the big TV downstairs. His game system is hooked up. We can like be in separate rooms and still look out and see each other. Like everything, like house on the hill type shit,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, it's like you want to be happy, but you writing sad songs.
It's almost like,
You want to write
man,
love songs, but
oh
it's
my
like,
God.
dog,
You know what's
life
weird?
is not.
It was weird for me. I can 100% relate to that because now, even in my life, I'm in a space to where I even look at the place where I live. I say, yo, like, man, I really came a long way. Just looking at from where I was maybe
Right,
like
and God is
19 or
good.
20. Here I am, like in my
Come on now.
early 30s. I'm like, man, this is a blessing. But man, like, why now do I want to like vent and write about stuff I went through and like write about? It's like, cause now I'm channeling that energy again. And it's
Mhm.
almost like, dang, when I create this, am I making it sound like I'm ungrateful? Or do you get what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh man, if I
And
don't
nobody
create,
wants to be
yeah,
ungrateful.
exactly. Exactly. And I understood that when you said that the whole thing is like death or death. Like I got this weird thing to where if I don't create, like if I'm not writing or recording or just doing a podcast, I feel like,
Mhm.
man, something wrong about to happen. And I'm like, that's not
No, I feel
that's
you.
not good. I'm like, that's not good. Like, why am I thinking that? I'm like, I need to find out and see if this is okay that I'm feeling this way. And the reason I feel that is because I obviously, God or whatever anybody that's listening believe in as far as the higher power, like give us this talent, this gift to impact
Mhm.
others in a great way. It's all about
Definitely God,
it.
but I
it
feel you.
no, I'm on the same wave as you. So it extends. I'm just saying, for
Shout
listeners, they'll
out
be
to
like,
our listeners.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody go see if you really want to dig back in history, like it's like, no, we going with I was raised believing in God, but as far as like just being blessed with that gift, with that
Just that
talent,
infinite power, just being blessed with it. Absolutely.
and I feel like if I had that itch to create and I don't act on it, it seemed like that's when stuff start falling apart, and I almost feel like it's a lesson
Mhm.
being taught, like, oh, you just gonna sit on this and wait and waste. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is almost like, hey, my mans, like, I gave you this, go use it. You get what I'm saying? And because I don't, that's when little small things start happening and it just be a domino effect.
You know what?
Like, is that
Nah.
weird?
Let me just
Or is
go
it
ahead
just
and
like.
bear all. Let me go ahead and be nah. So when I moved to Miami, right, I moved from Atlanta. I was singing full time, working part time, doing like the advisor and just, youth conferences, all that stuff. And I had actually moved there for a relationship.
Uh-huh.
And when I moved there, I was releasing music. That's when I released, a few songs while I was there,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't stuff that I had just recorded. But then I got like caught into this cycle of, okay, well, I need to get a job because I want to support myself. Okay, I need to get a car. So I started getting into this cycle of working.
Man.
I was still singing here and there, but not gigs, like, singing at the school I was working at, just, just you just tell yourself you're doing enough for your gifts. But I wasn't fulfilled. But then I did this one gig on Valentine's Day, and it was the worst gig I ever did in my whole entire life. I cried the whole night getting into the car, and my ex was just like, oh, it wasn't that bad, da, da, da. And it wasn't until months later, like that July, I had got an email in the middle of the night from an old client that I used to do production for. Like, I'm talking about somebody who, like, Grammy Award winning, that just a lot of people did not know that I used to work for.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for a few days to fill in for his manager. His manager emailed me to go fill in for him to be a manager for a few days. And I went out there and I came back like with this glow, like, oh my God, I'm so excited. A few months later, that relationship dissipated, and that helped me move
Damn.
to DC. I packed my car up and drove. But one of the things that he said was, I feel like I'm holding back. But then it was some other things that he said that just kind of like offset that. But now that I think about this conversation, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, if God gives you a gift, he ain't gonna let nobody hold that back. So it took me a long time to come back to doing music because I abandoned that because of like what was going on with my health at that
Word.
time, what I felt was important, with bills, all of those things. So now I'm finding myself in the same situation. Um, Not the same situation as far as like emotionally and things like that, but like abandoning my gifts, thinking that teaching kids how to write songs or putting stuff on SoundCloud for them is enough, and then my health is declining, so I don't have enough time to do this, and that's where the death came from because it was like I was dying, not creating.
That's man,
Period.
that's
A part of me was
crazy.
gone, but at the same time, trying to write the stuff that I was going through was death as well because it's kind of like I don't really know if people can handle what our show has been going
Yeah.
through. Like I went ghost on social media for a second. Well, not completely ghost, but like compared to what I used to post to what I started, like just, I want people to see me because I didn't want people to see that I was hurting. So it would have been death trying to write that
But I
because
think
I have to
all
live through these emotions.
I also think social media has a way of doing that to where we become afraid to post like when we going through shit.
Absolutely, because social media, you have to be on. I have to have the right time to post my pictures with the
Yeah.
right caption, with the right lighting, with the right angle, with the right filter. I have to get this many amount of likes, or I have to delete it and try to repost it at a different time. Like it's too much pressure.
Yeah.
I just stopped
If I posted
caring.
at
I
12,
stopped
I
caring.
got to post it at 12 p.m. on a
Right, it's not the
Tuesday.
peak hour.
And if I don't have hashtags, they not going to like it. But if I had too many hashtags,
Absolutely,
people
like
going to be turned
it's
away
just
from it.
too
Like
much
this.
thinking for
See, I
it.
know it ain't just me. This is like real shit. I say that all the time. They always say, as an artist, though, as an independent artist, you got to be active on social media. I'm like, but yo, like, it's a lot that plays into that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, man, I just
But
kind
you
of,
know what? I think the amount of pressure that, having to post on social media places on true artists, and I'm not trying to shade any artist, but I'm saying like people who are like, everybody goes through. But, I'm talking about the artists that they write their life
yeah,
because not every artist writes their own life. Some people write things for hits. I'm talking about the people who
yeah.
literally write what they live. They put their life out on record. It's so much pressure to try to be on for social media at the same time. I can't be on in my music and transparent and open with you about the struggles I'm going through and be on social media at the same time.
Exactly. That's why
I got to pick one.
I got a huge respect for the artists that kind of they don't really touch social media like that, like your Cole and your Kendricks. Like they pop in, they pop out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very rare that you sure I don't think you see them
Look,
say
tell them to
anything.
call Kanye.
Say it again.
Tell them to call Kanye.
Oh my goodness. He definitely see the thing is when he go ghost and he's not on there at all, but then when he do get on there, it's like, oh my God, man, he gotta be quiet. Like and it just get out of control.
Look, somebody black his cow real quick for the culture.
For real, like man, like get this guy's phone or something. That shit, he wilding. But yeah, that's interesting. Like that just is it's not just us that go through, and that's why I said this is one of the reasons that I continue to like do the podcast because it's a platform and it gives. How can I put it? I never want to make it an interview. I just rather make it a normal talk. Normal talk, like we talking about what's going on, what we going through, and I think more artists should come around and be, more open. It'd be like, yo, I'm going through the same shit. Let me talk about this or just anything. Like, period. Let's just shoot the shit because it shouldn't be. Oh, how can I explain it? It shouldn't be. Okay, I got something coming out. Let me do a press run and let me go hit these podcasts and radio. It's like, nah, let's learn the real you. Let's know what's really going on.
Listen, that's real because it's like, what if I don't? Well, for me, I don't have anything coming out.
I
Serving
ain't
back.
care. I was
It's
like, nope.
fresh. But at the same time, it's relieving because I think at the end of the day, every true artist wants to know that somebody still cares. And it's kind of like when you have been grinding, when you grind for so long, and life just takes its way and has its precedence and health and family and all of these things. I think a lot of artists would continue being artists if they knew that somebody still cared, if they knew they
Mm-hmm.
still had a voice. And I think now we're entering an age where it's like, podcasts are giving people a voice.
Yeah,
Social media is giving people a voice, which social media can be a double-edged sword.
absolutely.
But, I just felt different. I was like, oh, if I'm gonna talk to anybody, I'm gonna talk to Tag or I'm gonna talk to JG. I'm gonna talk to people who know me, who
Yep.
know the real me, so they can get the real me. I don't want to feel like I gotta put on for anybody. People been asking for music. People been asking for mixtapes, EPs, LPs. I understand and I get it. But at the same time, it's like I just want to talk to people who also get it.
Yep. Cause at the same, I thought about it too. Cause I brought it up. I was like, "Yo, we getting new music," and I said, "Man, she going through
Yo,
something,
and
bro."
I wrote that. I wrote that point though, and you know what? Yes, the answer to that is yes. I don't want to detox the people.
Word, no, that's
I have
real.
a lot of songs. I got a lot of songs that are written. I got a lot of songs that are recorded, but because it's just so many years, they have to be re-recorded and reworked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just noticing it wasn't my time. Part of it was me being in my own way, and then a lot of it was being too focused on building others. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was doing features for, I won't say everybody, but I had a lot of features out when I met you. I was kind of like, well, I won't say a go-to for under because there's a lot of people who didn't know me, but at the same time, I was very reliable for features.
Somebody need a hook. Somebody
I had a
need no help me write
significant amount.
this.
Yeah, I had a significant amount of features, writing hooks, things like that. And that's not anything that I'm not proud of. I'm definitely proud of it. I just wish that the time that I spent doing features, that I would have put more of that into my
Apply it
music.
into your own.
Yeah, because I have some of the songs. I digged in my archives with one of my co-writers the other day. Like, we got songs, but I can't release that now because I don't even sound the same.
Or you might not even be in that same
Um,
space. So like, is even as far as comfort, like I
Absolutely.
don't
Like,
want to
I
release
gotta
this.
rework some of those songs, but it's just it, industry will do a number on you, man. It'll do a number on you.
Look,
It'll do a number on you
trust me.
working for other people. Um, and it's nothing I'm ashamed of. I can say one artist I'm super proud to have worked with is well, I think he changed his name, but I call him God Pie Ransom.
Oh yeah,
Cool
yeah, yeah,
Beans.
yeah. Yeah, cool beans.
Oh my God, he is one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. Um, and it was such a pleasure working with him
I gotta get him
and
on.
seeing how he writes and seeing his process. Oh, he's a genius, I promise you. And I got to see him like a year ago. I just stopped by and saw him, and I just wanted to pop in on him, just to thank him because he taught me so much. Brandon Williams is also another person
Mm-hmm.
that I really, really look up to back home because I was into jazz. I was a jazz studies major, and Brandon really took to me. But I just wish I put that same tenacity that I did, like in Black Pack, like working with everybody. I just wish I put it in myself and everybody would have had UnCHELTered. But that's a long-winded answer. To answer your question, UnCHELTered is definitely coming.
I was about to say that
Um,
name itself is just such like I hate the word brand, but it's such like a brand that you could just run with.
It is. So the brand is Live Life UnCHELTered, but I cannot take credit for it. Will Sims, Enigma, he gave me that name.
Dope.
DJ Enigma. I was just serving, and he gave me that name. I ran with it, and it stuck. And I can't wait to get some money so I can give him like 10%.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll take that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna break him off, but it's brilliant. It's coming.
We
It's
got to
coming
get some
for
music.
real.
And,
I think
and,
I'm in a time in my life right now where it makes a lot of sense.
and the scene here, like, even with the women on the scene, especially like the R&B artists, oh my God, it's incredible. Like, because when I saw that, I said, yo, is Shell dropping something or no? Because I was looking around, like, I seen the
I
A.
know. What? Y'all got Charity?
Yep, we got her. Oh, you millennials, you heard that?
First of all, I love her. You know, she was actually on Unsheltered 90s edition.
Wait, is that
Penguin Nation.
okay? So is that the one where? And you know I got to bring this up like every time. Is that the one where you had like the Instagram clip and y'all were like rehearsing for it or something like that? And y'all singing like the SWV joint.
Yes,
Man,
it was. That's crazy.
that was like the illest shit because it caught me off guard. Like, you know, you just scrolling or whatever, and I just scrolling. They singing. Oh, like, is they doing the bridge too? And y'all had on like they in bonnets and shit. Like, they killing this. Like, yo, this is dope. I watched it a few times.
We were just rehearsing. We were just rehearsing. But you know, it was such a fun time.
You gotta let that clip resurface because that was fire.
Killed that show. First of all, she has a new song called Millennials.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
I just told her, I was just telling her, I said my daughter is 6. My daughter has autism. It's not like high on the spectrum, but it's noticeable enough. So like she knows how to, for whatever reason, she can pinpoint those hits. I'm listening to Millennials. I'm cleaning the kitchen up. I'm letting it bop. I got it on a loud Bluetooth speaker. It's bopping. My daughter, I hear her in the other room mocking the song. She thinks she says video repeatedly in the hook. And I'm like, no, it's Millennials. Like, but she still says video. Like, because you know it's a catchy song. So she catches the lyrics.
Oh, I think it might need a video.
Man, listen, I'm like, y'all, if I can catch her doing it again, I'm going to send you a clip of it if I can catch her doing it again. But it's so random when she do it. Like, so, man, that's one of my favorite, like, songs. I'm not going to even say from a Detroit artist.
I know that's not her. Well, it's not her only song, but Sounds Like Love is definitely still one of my favorite songs.
That's
Charity.
on the, what was the Yellow EP or something like that she dropped?
I think so.
Because
yeah.
I know she had, like, one EP that hit before.
Sounds like love. She's amazing. Such a great singer and vocalist and musician. Shout out to her.
It's her. I saw who else? Well, Keely. I just had her on the podcast. Keely Ferguson. Like, man.
Yes,
incredible,
Keely just dropped
yo.
a new project.
Yeah.
I actually hit it on my Apple Music. Listen, you know I'm going hard for them.
What's the hardest song on there? I just want to see if everybody on par with me and on the same page.
See, because I favorite it. Hold on, give me 1 second so I can go to it.
Because I always make sure, I want to make sure everybody liking the same song that I like the most, because this is like my favorite song in this project.
Wait, my Apple Music is acting crazy. Give me 1 second.
But I know it's...
Artist, go to Keely Ferguson. Sorry, you know I got all my stuff like...
I had Apple.
Yep. My favorite one was... Missing Me was actually my favorite one.
Okay. I mean, I like it, but mine's per se is Happy for Me. Like, every time I talk to her, I'm like, yo, that Happy for Me, y'all doing a video for that yet? She's like, you gonna do the video? Like, if you listen to the podcast, she talks about it like, man, I was like, yo, am I a stand for this song? Like, you can't be mad and, like, listen to the song. I was like,
the day that it came out and I saw it, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get it. Because
I let it rock, and I'm like, okay, that's a fire EP. Happy for Me came on, though. It had that little Prince bop to it. I was like, yo, this is it right here.
First of all, Keely still, what is it, Love Story with Sean off the mixtape? That's still a bop for me.
I asked her, I said, how you make a song about the East Side sound
Yes.
like you made it sound
Tell us
like
the fairy
it,
tale,
like
because
you
you know
like
I ain't from the east side, so
you,
I don't know.
you know what I'm saying? Like she made it sound like it was some like Cinderella, you know.
West Side Story, right?
I'm like,
Like it's
yo, like she's
amazing.
talking about the East Side,
Come
but
on,
she's saying
Keely.
some hood shit. Yep.
Shout outs to Cherokee. Shout outs to Keely. I gotta give love to Monica Blair though. Blair is still
Hell yeah.
bae. Oh my
Hell
god,
yeah.
I love her so much. I honestly like. I know she has new stuff, and she might get so irritated that people keep bringing this song up. But "Set Me Free" is still one of
Oh,
my
come
favorite
on
songs
now.
in all
Yeah.
existence.
I seen her perform it before I
Like,
heard. That's how it happened for me with a lot of Detroit artists. I would
I've
see them
seen her
perform
perform
it.
it so many times, but
Man,
now that I don't live there, sometimes every now and then when I want to remember what a Detroit singer sounds like, I go back to that. And
Monica,
I got
man,
one more
that's
singer to shout out. I have to shout out. I love her so much. Elle Renee.
oh yeah.
Shout out
Absolutely.
to Lori. Elle is one
Absolutely.
of the best singers I've ever heard in my lifetime personally.
I
Like,
for
personally been able to sit up under
I
and hear sing.
forget what restaurant I bumped into her at, and we were out eating, and I seen her. I recognized her. I'm like, excuse me, are you El Renee? Like I'm, I'm like, I'm just from artist to artist. People looking like, what's wrong with this nigga? Why you so hype? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, it's El
Right.
Renee. Like people looking like, nigga, okay, but I like they don't even know. I'm like, y'all don't know. They don't understand. Like I started to go further, like, can I get a picture? But I'm like, man, they don't get it. It's a Detroit thing. Y'all don't even understand. Yep. Who else? Who else? Oh, Bev Love.
Bev, so you know what? Randomly, I met Bev, and I love her movement. I think that she's so dope. I love what she's doing with her pictures. I just love like how she's marketing her shows.
Yeah. I like
I'm
how she do this
excited.
shit where it's like show day and she does like a different entertainer, like a woman artist, whatever, or actress or something. She posted. It could be like Diana Ross, and she just post like a fire pic of Diana Ross and be like, you know, she got a show. It's like show day. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dope. Then she does the hashtag Bev Love, hashtag Bev Hate.
And her wardrobe is so amazing.
Yeah, she
And
did.
she's a great performer.
Yep, absolutely. Her first EP, was it called Do What I Say? It wasn't called Do What I Say. I forget what the first EP was called. Damn, she probably killed me like, oh, it was called this, but whatever it had, I know it had the single on there, Do What I Say, and then um Freaks. And that was just like ill.
Hmm.
And then the second EP was ill. I was like, yo, I was like, man, we got some fucking talent down here, man. Like I was just saying earlier, like we got some of the hardest
Of
musicians
course.
out, like period, man. Like flat out. I like what a Symbol Sound is doing. Like that's a community in itself. That's where I say the industry is. I'm like, I feel like that's
Hmm.
about to be the industry that is Detroit. I think it starts there. You got my man Sam Austin. That's another artist that's from here. Like my cousin put me up on him. My cousin E was telling me like, "Yo, Sam, man." And I heard some. I like, okay, yeah, he is fire. We got it's so many artists that I don't know about, and I'm finding out about. Like, yeah, I didn't know. Like I never knew. Like they're still the usual suspects,
Yeah.
but
It's
just the
crazy,
fact that it's
right?
so many new ones, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And then there's me, and people be like, hey, you knew? Like, no, I've been around, man. I put Alexander next to my name. That's it.
No, please
That's,
stop. You're dope.
I'm like, that's all I did, and I went off the podcast, man. I'm still here, But I got more so into the licensing game, so it was like, you do that, they're like, well, I don't see him performing enough, but
Listen,
I'm gonna
come
be out
on,
there.
secure the bag, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what we want. That's what we
I
need.
talk
That's
my
what
shit,
we
but I
need.
talk it
Secure the
quietly.
bag.
I talk it quietly. Yep.
I'm
But
here for it.
it's a
I'm here for the
thing.
whole thing.
But I've been talking about it for so long, and it's
Mhm.
slowly creeping its way in. I'm seeing stuff like I'm seeing. Shout out to PL. My man's had the single. You know PL had the Fresher Than You joint.
Yo, so like I saw his status recently, and I was so excited because I remember him and his wife, and it was just like that's so dope. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
The success story where basically, like I had to take
shout
that
out
leap,
to PL. Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
wild
yeah.
because it's like,
I mean, he a Michigan fan,
yeah,
but
you It's like who would have knew?
I get over that.
But that's a part of his brand too, though, and that's fire. The Wolverines, I'm like, yeah, that's
But
ill.
it
But
is too.
I was
I mean, it's
geek
all right or
when
whatever. You ain't gonna catch me saying that's cool.
I saw him do that. Like I was like, he said he posted something before, and it was like he had the whole the thing with the NFL, and I was like, all right, he had the what, Thursday night NFL, and I think Monday night. Then also he had the Pistons theme music or something like that when they finally came to Little Caesars Arena. I said, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what matters. I'm like, this gives your music legs. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna live.
You know,
And you
I
securing
think
the
that
bag.
a lot of us, especially people from Detroit, like no shade to our city, we've gotten so accustomed to city success or just to,
No, that's facts.
you know, success in different hoods. It's like, no, I'm trying to secure the bag. Not just for me, for my family, for
Exactly.
my, you know, for my kids, for, you know, my parents, for my grandparents, for my kids. Like,
Yep.
I know I went out of order, but however, it's just that, you know, I feel like you and PL are on a different level of thinking. I worked with the artist Danny Swain. He used to be known by Danny with the exclamation mark. And Danny has really opened my eyes to like a whole new world. He was my first major placement.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Originally he was signed to originally he was on the Interscope. But OK Player signed him under Questlove, you know. That's Questlove's label. And I was on that album, Payback.
Rewind for a second.
Well,
OK Player actually got a label?
no, like that's like their own own thing going.
I never knew that.
I'm mistaken. But don't misquote me, but I think that's what's going on. However, what I do know is Questlove was in the mix, OK Player in the mix. And I was doing songs for Danny. Shout outs to Black Pack, Will Ketchum, Marcel Williams, who gave me the alley-oop for that. Josh, who let me stay at the crib, and I was recording there Thanksgiving weekend. I left my family to go record there for a week back in Lansing. The album actually made the Grammy shortlist. So it was my first time really just having that kind of like taste of what success might look like. Because even though I didn't write anything on the album, I did all of my vocal production. I did all of my arranging.
Fire.
So that was interesting. But we did another album, and it was just really, really interesting just to see how the industry really works, how Danny just went into, you know, licensing, and he went into doing commercials. He went into doing voiceovers and things like that. I had never seen anything like that up close. I had never seen an artist, a hip hop artist.
Because nobody ever told us in our city. All we knew in our city was that, yo,
and he was like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, make the music,
I what you're saying.
Record, tour, and that's it. It's like, yo, wait a minute. There's this other piece right here. Like, I still see people to this day like, so, yo, like, how do I get my music on Cartoon Network?
What NFL show it was? It was something on HBO. He did the voiceovers for it, but it wasn't just that. He had got placed on like on a commercial, all kinds of stuff. And he was like, sis, I'm securing the bag. Like, this album gonna get done. This is what I'm doing it for. And it was crazy because it's somebody that you see and you're like, whoa, you're doing this. I hear you on this. And it wasn't like I'm rich type something. It's like, no, I need to have multiple streams. I need to make sure that I'm good. So it made me think different as an artist. So shout outs to PL for thinking like that.
And
shout outs to Janae for holding him down.
When I saw that,
I thought she's a dope singer, by the way.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Sure nobody forgets about her.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, does she sing? Like, I remember.
Know me, but I'm a fan.
Dope. Yeah, I seen him do that, and I was like, man, he gets it. He gets it. And every time I see an artist it goes toward that lane, I was like, they get it, man. They get it. Because at some point, I know I wasn't the only one, But coming from where I come from and my my upbringing as far as the music is concerned,
Yeah.
I felt that way. Like, damn, man, don't nobody get it. And you get a little frustrated, and you trying to tell artists about it, and it's kind of like, oh, yeah, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, oh, man, y'all need to know, like, it's more than this what we doing right here. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, it definitely was a huge deal for me. It was somebody else that was doing it that's going toward that route right now. I can't think of it at the moment.
Hmm.
Shit.
I'm trying to think. Who else do we know in common? I'm not sure.
Well, I was gonna say
I
Black,
trust your
but
judgment, though.
that's super close to home. But Black Milk, he had the NBA Live placement with the new NBA Live. So
Wait, so speaking of Black, you had asked about like how we connected.
uh,
I actually don't remember.
I do. It was
How?
well, remember at one point, cause I for what in the back of my head I thought like she know how we linked or whatever, but we were finishing up the For Namesake album. Now originally the For Namesake album we had me and Nameless had like maybe 8, 9, probably like 9 or 10 joints
Oh
tops
my
that we
God.
were
Was that
done with.
like after South by Southwest?
Yep, definitely at the South by. Well, it was probably beforehand because
Oh, that's crazy.
we dropped the album after South by Southwest, but it was crunch time for us to finish the album up. We thought we were done. We finished the album up, and we finished it up. We had about like 10 joints, just all hard, barbaric. You know, y'all know I do, but
Mhm.
we had the barbaric shits, and Will like, man, the label likes the album, but they don't. They feel like you need maybe like a few more songs. I'm like, what? Like we ain't, man, we got 10. We got 10, we good. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm
Mhm.
like, man, all right, man, whatever. So what do I do? You like, then you can get Black Milk. I'm like, what, man? Like, oh man, that's gonna be hard. Like he touring right now. That's gonna be hard. Like I gotta wait till he settle in. I think Black was moving too at the time.
But that's your
So
family, right?
it is, but because he was moving.
I'm just making sure for my
Oh
part of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
story. I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. That's my
trying to be
cousin.
accurate.
Yep, that's my cousin. But
Okay.
because he was moving, I knew it was gonna be difficult to get a verse from him. I'm like, fuck, man, you show maybe a hook. He like, hey, well, if you can get a verse from him, whatever. I'm like, man. So Will'll tell you, it was like hard getting Black to like sit still finally, but he was moving at the time, which I believe he was moving to Dallas. He in LA now, but he was moving to Dallas. And
Come on, Black.
I'm like,
Shout out to you.
man, it's gonna be
I'm letting
hard.
you.
So that paused the album for a minute. We had that, and at the same member, he never said just one song. He said you need a few more songs, period. And we want to know if you can secure a feature from Black. So I'm like, man, when you done with an album, you done with an album. You really don't want to push and try to force more. So
Finish nothing.
those last few songs ended up being Oxymoron with Black, The Teacher with you, and the other
Which
couple
was horrible. But
songs. The Teacher wasn't horrible. Go back and listen to
no,
now.
you was dope.
Maybe on the mix. No, now that's the thing. I feel a way about my rhymes going back and listen. I'm like, ugh, this shit is. I don't even rap like this no more. Like I listen to that, but like, damn. But the hook is what keep me
No, I
into the
had to
song.
engineer my whole. I had to engineer my own session. I sound terrible. I needed a vocal producer.
I
But
remember you
nobody could
said that.
record me.
Yeah, I
And then
remember you said that.
I was down to the wire. I was like, I'm not about to tell this nigga that I'm not.
But it got done though. That
I
ended
didn't
up
rock
being
the
a lot of
hood.
people's favorite song on that album though. That's crazy.
Really?
A
Oh
lot of
my
people
God,
was
that's
like, yo,
crazy. I hope they don't think that's all I'm saying. But no, I engineered that whole session by myself. I had to like literally record myself
I mean, it was relatable too. So that's what it was. Like I remember when I first heard
too.
it, when I first
I
heard the
mean,
hook, I was so in a hurry to turn the album and it got mixed. I never really went in depth into the hook and I started listening. So I said, yo, this shit is dope. She wrote
that's one of
this.
my favorite features.
I'm like, she wrote
Just
this? Like this
minus
is
the
wild.
minus the recording.
Yep. But that's how that
But
happened.
no.
Like those songs got turned in. So we ended up doing like other Lucy tracks, like just
Wait, so
randoms.
how did you think of me to do it though? Is the connection. That's what I'm trying to make.
I said we needed a singer, and either Will said,
There we go. So I thought about that. I said I didn't remember exactly how we
but
connected,
I
but I
don't
knew I was
see.
in black.
I don't think
And
he
I was doing a
well, not to cut you, but I don't think he said, "Yo, let's get Shell." I think I said we need a singer too, though, because we don't have a singer on this album. That was me
okay.
then, like, oh, I need a chick joint when I'm talking about the ladies, and I need a joint that got this. That was me then. Now I'm pretty random, and it's like whatever
That
go
sounds
on
like
here.
pretty much everybody asked me to do
You
something
know
at
what I'm
that
saying?
time.
And then I'm like, I'm like, man, we need a singer on here. Like, we need some vocals. I was like, it's either going, I couldn't get a male singer. I said, we need either a dude to sing or a woman to sing. And then when I heard that beat, I was like, well, this will be the one, but like,
Um,
how would they sing on this? Now, now, I'm going to think of a melody. See, this is just when you're growing as an artist. Me now, I'm gonna think of the melody. I'm gonna maybe mumble some words, try to think of something, then I send it to the singer, but like, all right, this is kind of how I want it done. But then I was clueless. I'm like, I don't know. I just know I want somebody to sing on it. I can write the rhymes, wrote the rhymes, sent it, but I think I specifically said that, and he just was like, well, cool. She a part of Black, you know, it should be able to happen. And I think also that's how we got Joshua on there too, because that was another one of the
yes,
songs that got added last.
we so in sync. Come on now.
Yep, that's
I literally was thinking, I was in black at the time. I was doing hooks for people in the city, and the first thing I remember is telling you like, "Oh, you look so much like Black." And
yeah,
you
that's
was
my
like, "Oh,
cousin.
that's my cousin." But I did the same thing with mine, and it was like, "Yeah, that's my brother." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yep,
that's different."
we be
But
moving in
I
silence
also
out
remember
here.
we did the show. Yeah, but we did the show at the Untitled Bodega. Is that how you say it?
Yep,
That's where we were. Yeah, we did that one. That's the one that I was so sick that I
man,
couldn't really stand for it, but I didn't want to cancel. So I sat in the chair and sang. But I feel like
man.
that was a really good vocal performance
It
for
was
me.
though.
So
I'm
I
like, she
don't
was
know.
sick because I
I
walked
feel like
in on
I
you
was
singing.
sick.
Yep,
Yes, that was a good night. But yeah, I feel like that was the beginning, and we never really lost touch. Like we did that one song together, which maybe we can re-record in a better voice because that's not a bad hook.
we gonna come with something new
Um,
all together. Cause listen, when
we
I know
can, but
for a
look,
fact,
you can't let me go out there like that. If you listen back to that mix, don't do me like that, Zach. I love you.
after life happening and everything, we gonna do something like, cause it's crazy when I say people
I
talk
know, but
about
I
that
just can't
song.
have people go back to listen to that and think that I can sing it. I sound like, how you listen to like now we in 2018
Yeah,
and you hear people singing from like 1993 and you like, oh, they thought they was killing it.
you
That's
hear the
how I feel
mix,
people
like you like, oh,
go
they
through.
thought they was bodying that, like I
Yeah,
was
but it
not
wasn't
killing
the
it.
mix. It was the fact that I wasn't recording myself. Nobody was like, Shell, sing it better. Do this. I literally had to engineer that whole thing. Nobody will record me or nobody had time. That was the time that I was living with a whole bunch of producers and
Mm,
musicians. iRock was there. Shout out to him. Like, I mean, no speakers at that time. There were no speakers. So, like, a few people from no speakers living there.
I don't
But
know what
nobody had time.
happened to them as a collective, but I
All
would
right,
like
next
to
question.
know at some point because
Next
I'm like, yo, I see Beely still doing his thing. I'm gonna go to the next question. But I was like, yo, what happened here? Like they just kind of,
question. I ran out of air
yeah, man. They
because
was
I was
ill
still
with
singing the same note.
it.
No, they were dope. They were a dope collective. No, but shout out to Rich Hustlers because he's still working too, though. Everybody's still working. I feel like sometimes things just come to an end. Not
Man,
that they always have to. And sometimes they have to. However, things come to an end.
But
that is what it
that's
is.
funny that you mentioned that just in regards to like recording that song because that's a lot of people's favorite song. It's always that. Like literally when they
You,
talk about that album,
wow, that's amazing. Well, look, I need to open up a studio and record people because if they cool with that, look,
they're
tell
like,
them
well,
to send their cousin.
I've gotten way better
Look,
now. Like I
got
can
it.
get this.
I record you.
Yeah.
Look, not for the free, for the low, because
I
I recorded myself for the free, and it sounds like it. But
I think
you
what
know, if y'all
it
like
was
it, I
just
love
raw.
it.
It was raw, and at the time, that was like you know, it was okay to just raw, and then it just be like, all right, bet this is
That
now it's a
stop
little different.
blasting me.
No, I'm telling you,
This shit sounds terrible,
when
but
they
it's cool.
talk about this album, the teacher is mentioned, Raw Dirty Filth, Blau, and what's the other one? Oh, Hype Break.
But you know what? I think the teacher is so raw because of your words.
Yeah.
And the words to the hook are dope. The vocals are not. So we're going to go ahead and skip past so people don't try to go look it up.
They looking it up now. They about to find the video. I was mad at the video. I was
That
like,
wasn't my
oh
best
my god.
vocal job. Go ahead.
No, we gonna have to bring it back. You know they gonna look it up. They go, what is the teacher? Like, what is this? Like, I know people listening that actually like when I literally dropped the
Annoying.
episode, they going back.
Right. Right.
They going back. But I'm glad that's actually perfect timing that they go back because we are already about finished with part 2. So, and we've been working on that for like a minute too.
Well, I'm here, so I'm ready. Actually, I'm ready this time.
So you got a studio, you got somebody that can record you, got somebody that can make sure the mix is on point. This time we can be like, all right, I'm good with this one.
Yeah, this
See,
time I ain't playing.
well, I'm glad you said something. See, look what happened with podcasting. I'm glad. See, I would have never knew. I'm glad you said something because I was like, I could.
Thank you.
You know,
No, I
okay.
thought I told you. I thought I told you I sounded terrible, but you was like, oh no, it sounds good since I got you. And then I listened back and I was like, what the?
I was with it. I'm like, it's good. We gotta turn this in. Let's
You was
go.
right.
We're trying to have it out in
You was
April.
ready for your album to come out. You ain't care how your sister sounded, but it's cool. I ain't judging. No, I'm just kidding.
Then I'm like, man, I thought the album was done, but it's crazy though because had that never happened, that song would have never been on there. Like had they would have just took the
But
songs
you
that
know
we
what?
had.
That moment really like, and it might sound crazy versus what we talked about earlier in the conversation, but that moment really showed me like I have to wait for nobody because I had spent all that time living with producers and sitting in sessions and like watching them. It was like, okay, I've been telling y'all I need this to be recorded. It's just a hook. Nobody can record me. Okay, I'm gonna record myself. So I did my very best to record myself and trim it, and I sent you what I had.
But no, I respect that.
Yeah, I sent y'all what I had, and I think that's the reason why I felt insecure about it because I felt like I didn't have nobody to really check behind me to be like, no, sing this better. But at the end of the day, I knew I was on the deadline, and I knew I wasn't gonna go back on my word. But it really it taught me something. It taught me something for real. And the funny thing is, the name of the song is The Teacher. So
look at how the universe be working. Look at that.
Absolutely.
Look at the universe.
Absolutely. Because I know a lot of people did not know that I engineered that session. I begged people to record it for me. They would not. So I was like, fuck, I ain't gonna not deliver. I gave my word. So
I forgot that's how that happened. Like when I thought you did it, so I thought you meant like, yeah, I got my own studio, I recorded, but had engineers there or whatnot. I didn't even know until tonight that it was in depth like that.
I had to do it.
Shout out to you.
I had to do it myself. Nobody would record it, and I didn't want to tell you that I didn't have it. So
oh, yeah, people definitely gonna go back.
That's what happened.
And listen to that song. They definitely going back. Like, what's she talking about? I don't know. Let me go listen. What they saying here?
Listen, I was like, pause, stop, let me punch in, let me go ahead to another track. That's why when I sent it to y'all, it looked so crazy. The only thing I didn't do was send it to y'all. I actually had them send it because I had did the whole session.
Yeah, because it was like tracked out and everything.
Nobody had time to record me. or nobody made time, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm gonna go back and listen now. And then I'm gonna go back and listen. Like, what you talking about? I don't really.
Nobody. I'll text you offline for that combo.
Yeah, that's wild. That was like
Let me
dang, that
go
was
on.
5 years ago.
Let's go.
Yep,
It was. That's crazy.
went right by. Dang, now I gotta dig through the archives because I might have one for you. I might have to, let me go ahead and send this over and see what you got for this. All right.
I'm ready. Look, I ain't doing no more free sessions, nothing. Look, I'm paying how much you charge an hour.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and buy a block. Because I feel like sometimes when you, like, do the whole, like, people let you have free sessions and stuff like that, you have to wait on people.
Yeah.
Or they take advantage of your time, or they don't give you 100%. So
Listen.
I'm at the point right now where, you know what, it took hell for me to get back to this point of wanting to create. So I'm going to invest in myself. I'm not going to look at it as I'm paying. I'm investing in myself. So I'm going to pay for the sessions. I'm going to pay for the blog. I'm going to pay for the graphics, the logo, the photo shoots, the whatever. Whatever nobody is willing to invest in me, I'm going to invest in myself because I don't want anybody to feel like they're responsible for it. And I also don't want nobody to half-ass me. So,
no, I definitely gonna understand that. Like, it got to a point where
that was me.
I never really wanted to wait, so it'd just be like what I would do. I just started, I invested in. When I found out you could record off of an iPad, I'm like, what? It could do what? Oh, I can download what? Oh, GarageBand. Oh, it's other. Oh, this software, they got that.
So smart. I was so naive. I
look.
was. Shout out to all these young artists. Listen, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let people just be like, I got it. Put some money up.
Yep.
Because when people got it, they got it. Meaning they got everything.
I cracked the screen on my iPad by mistake. And I was like, damn. I really don't feel like paying. You know how it is with Apple insurance. The deductible is this or whatever. I'm like, man, but paying for it is so worth it because it's such an investment that helped me get to the next step with a lot of things as far as music. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Just go ahead and get this fixed. I can get way more music done. And I do it in a heart. Matter of fact, it's funny. I put out music or release a project on some stupid shit, and people won't even know. Like, I just released the... I released label LABL Part 2. It was like a mixtape / EP.
Wait, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna send you the link for it, or just the website where it's at.
I was gonna say, was I not watching or I missed it?
Yeah, you missed it. It happened so quick though.
You can be honest.
I hardly
I ain't
pushed
on social media for real, like I used to be.
But I can put that on myself because I hardly pushed it because I was still pushing my last EP, Hello Victory, which I still am pushing.
Well, I still want it. Listen.
Yeah, you definitely gonna get it. I'm gonna send it your way just to let you know why I was on some stupid shit when I put it out. I put out this project, and this for anybody that's listening. You know, sometimes you put out music, I gotta promote, and I need people to be aware of like what. No, I put it out because I said this gonna be the second project that I made an attempt on mixing my own music. So what I did was I recorded.
Heck, that's so dope.
Listen, when I recorded, I took a bunch of.
I'm sorry, people listening about the bag.
Only one that
You're in your own bag.
Didn't touch was I rhymed over Survival of the Fittest off of Mobb Deep. My brother mixed that. Beethoven. I did that on the fly at his studio. The other ones, and DDT.
Shout out to Beethoven. Hey, boo.
Oh yeah, he out here. He's in his bag. Milk. He's in his bag for real.
Come on, fam.
And DDT mixed. I'm gonna let you know which ones.
Listen, I want to be in the bag.
Come get adopted. Come get adopted with the family. We are.
Do I gotta like book a trip to Detroit?
No, we can just lie.
People done forgot about me, Chad.
All we gotta do is lie and say we related. Like, I just found out Shell's my cousin. Like, not everybody gonna listen to the podcast, but the people listening, they may know.
Low-key, like,
we just gonna lie.
Whole ass fam.
Like, this is my y'all didn't even know this is my cousin. And people gonna believe it. They gonna be like, well, no. They gonna be like, well, on the low, he do got cousins out there, so fuck it. They are related.
Whole ass fam.
We just gonna lie. We're like, that's my cousin. That's my cousin. I'm gonna tweet it, and people are like, "What are you?" I want to see what's gonna happen if I
Damn, I
tweet
didn't.
that.
No, I'm really about to tweet that right
I
now.
just no. Let me do it. I'm gonna tweet it. I just want to be like, "Yo, I
Yeah,
just found out
I
Shell's my
didn't.
cousin," and see what
Can I
happened,
retweet it?
and then just retweet it
Let's go ahead.
like
I'm gonna
word.
retweet.
Like,
Like, wow, like it's crazy
we're just
when
gonna
you
let it
realize
cook.
who your family is. You
We
know,
just
we gonna cook it.
we just gonna let it cook, and we'll know who listened. Like by the time the episode edited out, we
Listen,
gonna
cause
know who listening to the show.
remember the first thing, one of the first things I asked you, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Look, you kind of, no, it was you and I did the same thing to both of y'all. Like, yo, y'all kind of look like Black Milk. And you was like, that's my cousin, but I was like, that's my brother. And I was like, you
Yeah.
lying.
No, yep, blood brother, blood cousin. Yep, came up together.
I ain't hating on you. I ain't hating.
Yep,
I'm just saying, one of my favorites.
yep.
And
But
you're my favorite too, though. You've been so consistent.
I gotta be. What was I saying earlier? I said if I stop, if I quit, if I don't feed the beast, if I don't feed the gift, I feel like stuff gon' like stuff just start. It'll be a domino effect of stuff happening. Like, oh, you just gonna quit? You gonna just give up? Like it's too much that keep happening that let me know like it's not over. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be consistent.
No, you definitely have a platform. You have like you're doing work for the people. The people are the artists who are like me, who need you. You know,
That's why I
you've
podcast.
been
Like
setting the platform and everything. You know,
like
we
when me
appreciate you. We love you.
no doubt. When I talk to other podcasters about it, I say, well, I respect artists that do step into the podcast lane because it's something that could probably be scary for people. Like, oh man, I gotta be on here and dang, I can't fake being cool. Like when you're a rapper, you can kind of fake being cool, if it makes sense. Like you gotta
Absolutely.
like yo, you gotta just be cool all the time, too cool for school. But like when you on a podcast, that's kind of easily, you can easily point that out. Like you're not being yourself. Like you kind of like you faking something. Like, but cause you talking. It's a conversation. People they can
Mhm.
point out you being fake in a conversation opposed to you rapping somebody else's story, or you know what I'm saying. So it's a difference, and that's what I like about podcasts. And I always be like, a lot of artists that probably could do it probably wouldn't do it, maybe because of that fear, or like how we talked about earlier, anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it's too transparent. It's too random. It's too like you cannot be mechanic for it.
yeah,
Like you can prepare for it, but you never know what's gonna come.
you can't
And I say that because I was on a podcast before, and I was just like, wait.
But
What
y'all
you talking
killed
about
that
this?
though. Shout out to NWP.
Thank you.
Like
Shout
y'all
out to
killed that.
JG and NWP. That's my family.
It was a
JG,
normal
but I love all of them,
discussion.
though.
Like y'all started talking about the R&B playlist and everything. I remember that episode. I
Oh
was like,
my
they
God,
got
it
who
was
on
such
here?
a fun time. That was the Kylie Jenner episode with
Yep.
the Pepsi. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
that was a good that was a crazy time in my life. A good time, but a crazy time. So it's amazing. I'm in another crazy time, and I'm on another podcast. So I don't know what's
More gonna happen. More gonna
maybe
happen.
I should go ahead and start my own podcast. I don't know.
Yes. 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 You should. It's not hard. We gonna talk off air about how
I
you
don't
can
know.
do it. Cause I'm not gonna
We'll
keep.
talk off here.
I ain't gonna
about
keep
that.
giving
But I know
away
you
the
had other
gems.
stuff you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So let's go.
We definitely gonna put that out there because that can happen. Cause like I say, it's a platform for other artists to want to further exceed with platforms. Period. Just all types of
I see you, bro.
platforms.
I trust you.
But I gotta see that project because I like, man, I want to do other artists know, and I'm just doing some shit just to kind of not to be doing it, but I'm just testing some stuff out. But you can't put that in the press release, yo. I did this because I wanted to show y'all I was mixing. But that's why I really just was like trying to learn how to mix with different software, and I ended up doing that project
Yeah.
and put it out there. Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Got to be consistent. I appreciate it. Proud of you.
Wow,
Like you.
we've been rocking for a long time.
Yeah,
like
this is what
8 years,
we looking at
9, 8, 9, yeah,
since
about
20.
8 years. Yeah,
It was about like 2010,
it's
2011.
2018.
Yep. Damn,
Yeah, about
that's
7, 8 years.
but time be flying by so fast though. It never feel like how you said, it's been 6 years since you left the city, so it's like, where'd the time go?
It went.
Yep, but I
It
definitely
went.
got some ideas.
Sometimes I miss Detroit.
You do? Yeah, I
Um,
mean, yeah.
Sometimes I miss Detroit and the energy. Sometimes,
Oh,
you
yeah,
miss
yeah.
just, um, when I was there, I was throwing shows, I was producing shows, I was singing background, I was singing lead, I had a band, I had background singers. Like, it was just, I was doing a lot of stuff. I was interning at Shane Park as a production
Yeah.
assistant. Um, but
Life be
I
happening.
don't know. I guess it's just life happens, but I just wanted something more. And it's not that Detroit couldn't give me more. It was just the fact that I always wanted to have something to bring back to my city. So I feel like
Would
now in DC.
I was gonna say,
Wait,
like,
no, you
cause
was about to ask a question. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you see yourself coming back, like, officially, if that's
No,
the
not
opportunity?
officially.
You said
Mm-mm.
no, like, nope, like, hell no.
Mm-mm. No, not a hell no. Like in that sense, I definitely want property in Detroit. Definitely want some place to come to. I don't think I ever want to live in Detroit again, but I always want to invest in Detroit. I always want to make sure I have businesses and money flowing into Detroit.
Right.
One of my life goals has always been to open a performing arts center in Detroit,
Need it. Need it.
and that's still something I want to do that has academic enrichment. So with me being a teacher now, it's kind of like it becomes full circle and just like give me this like, okay, I'm like a brainchild now. Like, okay, let me suck up everything I've been from every city I've been to. Let me see what every school is doing. Let me see what every program is doing. Let me see where my money is going to take me. And it's fueling me even more to become an artist again, to create different revenues, because I really want to come back and bring something to the youth of
Right.
Detroit. I grew up in Petty's Players, which was operating out of Detroit and Inkster, Cherry Hill Fine Arts Academy. James Petty and Wilma Petty, they had this performing arts like little summer camp every year. And I did it 2 years in a row, but I went back and did research, and they were phenomenal in the city. It was life changing for a lot of people. But being in DPS, going to Michigan State, seeing so many products of Detroit public schools coming to Michigan State trying to do like jazz camps and things like that, knowing that they're taking away the arts in DPS or just in Michigan in general, I want to have something to offer to our kids of color, but not just kids of color, specifically DPS. Like, I ain't trying to shade nobody else. I want to serve our kids and then everybody else.
Right. We get, first dibs, pretty much.
Listen, come on now. Everybody else does it.
Right, exactly.
I wanna hit our kids, but then everybody else. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something I've always thought about since I was in high school. Actually, like just having a performing arts center that focuses on like tutoring after school, and then people join their like dance troupe, band, like private lessons, going to the studio, having vocal lessons. Like,
No, I
when
100%
I
agree
grew up,
with that.
we had that.
Exactly.
We
I was
had
about to
that
say
growing
that's
up,
that's definitely
but they
something
don't
that
have
I
that
remember.
anymore.
It's like they pulling it. One thing, and I hate that I have to agree with this, but one thing in that the extended clip that they showed when Ye was talking to you know who, and he was speaking about the schools. He said you keep hearing him say, "Oh, the kids aren't willing to learn. The kids are ADD," and he like they're not ADD. He's like the classes are just boring that's being taught to me. He said they need something interesting. I believe he mentioned performing arts and just like ways to, you know, trigger these kids' attention and keep them focused, like, and something that they're interested in, arts being one of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I pulled that one simple. Other than that,
You know,
I ain't
that's
we don't give him too
accurate,
much
but
light.
he's not
He
accurate.
just
So
ain't accurate
I
putting it
gotta
out
cut
there.
that part because his best friend ain't doing nothing to donate to the arts fund. Honestly, performing arts has been phased out over the past like forever
Yes.
because it's not even what it used to be before we got into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at least we still got to experience it. And because I saw the way that it changed my life and some of my friends' lives, and I saw how it saved people as much as it could. You know what I'm saying? It can't save everybody, but I did see people from the hood, people from the streets coming in and who were excited about it. I want to give people an outlet. I'm sorry, that sounds real ghetto. An outlet. I want to give them an outlet. I want to give them somewhere where they feel like, not people, kids, our kids, somewhere they feel like they can be themselves, somewhere they, you know, can understand where they can communicate, where they feel like they can pour out, where they feel like they can create. And unfortunately, our schools are not the place
At
anymore.
all.
And I'm a teacher. And I can 100% say our schools, it's not that place anymore. That was my place to really just be like, I was in band, I was in choir, and I was a music kid. But at the same time, we had art, we had dance, we
Yep.
had all of that. A lot of our schools don't have that anymore. So we're dealing with a lot of kids with emotional issues and trauma who have all these extensive IEPs, which I don't even feel like getting into it with, but all my educators who are listening, I know what they are. All these extensive problems that people think that they have when really they're just not able to express themselves.
That's all that it is. And you see it every day. And it's good hearing it from you, being that you're a teacher. Because you hear a lot of people talk about it, but it's like, yeah, are y'all really like dealing with groups of kids every day like that? So like hearing you say it, it's coming firsthand, so.
Listen, I still be going crazy. Like, come on, sit down, shut up. Like, I don't tell them to shut up, but still.
Yeah, sit down, don't bug up again. Sit your ass down. So that's what I was really want to
No,
say.
I don't cuss at them. Sometimes in my head, but like our kids need to be stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are creative, but nobody ever has the resources to pour into our kids to be that creative or to be that, talented, to be that gifted, to be that resourceful. Like, I mean, it's just, I gotta leave that one alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say something got to be done about it because when you really look at it, it's like,
I gotta leave that one alone because I wanna market this podcast. I don't wanna get fired.
But that's real though, because like when you really look at it, it's like these are kids that are our future. So it's like that needs to happen. Like as you mentioned, their minds need to be stimulated. This stuff need to happen where they can pour something, emotion into something. And like you said, they left with, they just got these devices. That's all they know. They don't know nothing creative. It's like, and I'm not saying all of them, but it's like vast majority. You know what I mean? That's just all they got. You get some that get lucky and they know how to make do with what they have, like with their phones and tablets and everything. They make something out of it. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, there's the rest. And I can just imagine how it is now with social media being the way it is and you having to be so perfect all the time. Like, whew, that got to do a number on you.
Oh, my God. Like, can we take a second for that one?
I couldn't have been in high school with, I couldn't have been in high school with social media.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. I don't know where it came from.
I ain't editing that. That's staying. We ain't gonna edit that.
It's the devil. You gotta have the right picture with the right filter, the
Mm-hmm.
right angle, the right lighting. Sorry, the right caption,
That's a lot.
the right amount of light.
And you still
For
gotta
what
have
though?
and you still gotta have good grades on top of it. And that's a worry. You still gotta focus on that.
Yeah, but for what? I'm sorry. This is crazy. I'm about to take my breath for like 15 seconds. So just go ahead and talk to people.
We got Shell on the podcast with the hiccups, y'all. That is hilarious.
Wait. No, for real, I'm trying to hold it. Hey, y'all.
That is hilarious. I edit that. So don't say, oh yeah, the hiccups like
No, for real, I can't. No, for real, I really do. Every
it,
time I was trying to say something, I start
as
hiccuping.
soon as you have a point, yeah, that the hiccup. What the hiccups are the devil? Because like you trying to make a point, you
I
can't get
know.
it out because you just jumps.
It was great, though. It was a great point.
Yeah, man, that's something
Wait,
to
so
think
can we
about.
edit all that part out? Or,
I
because
definitely
I
I
feel
could
like
fix
that was
that.
a great point.
I could do it. I could
So can
definitely
we
fix
say
that.
it again, though?
Yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
feel like that was a great point. Wait, can you ask it again so I can say it again?
And what was my question? Oh, just as far as just them
The social media.
the perfection, that validation. Like
Yeah.
I gotta make sure I'm fresh. Gotta have the right angles. I got the lighting. Got to be right. The filter. Oh, and I gotta make sure my grades are straight too, so I don't fail. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't have
I
done it.
mean, I just feel like our kids are under so much pressure, and I just don't want us to make the same mistake that the boomers made with millennials as far as just judging, like, oh,
Yep.
millennials are this and that, and they haven't went through this, and they're just so entitled. um, Millennials, we haven't had the amount of peer pressure that this new generation has. I don't even know their name. However,
Yeah. Like
I
what do we
teach
call
them.
them? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know what to call them. They're different to me. Like everything is different to me. Every day that I walk into my classroom, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to get today? But when I see what they're faced with as far as like just social media, just as far as peer pressure, I can't say that it compares to what I was going through.
It
They have to have the right picture with the right lighting, with the right angle, with the right filter, the right caption, the like certain amount of likes. It's just like the certain amount of pressure to be on for social media, which
cyberbullying.
I know that some of us do as artists, but look, we're artists. That's what
Yeah.
we sign up for. We sign up to be on.
You know what you getting
But
into
for
pretty
like
much.
right but I teach middle school, so I'm trying to think, how old are they? Like 10, 11, 12, 13, like 11, 12, 13, whatever. That, can you imagine the amount of pressure that is for a preteen to a like early teenager?
Bogus. Bogus, but it's real. Like that's you can they it's like
I
it's
mean, really, we live in social media as adults. So what makes us think that the generation, well, not even, I don't even know how generations work, but I know my baby sister is not in the same generation as the kids that I teach. So
yeah.
two generations down, can you imagine how they feel?
You like how we were saying earlier, like man, you know, sometimes you're like, I'm gonna fall back from social media. I ain't gonna go on there for a while. Imagine them, you know, just not wanting to go on there. Period. Like man, if I post this, somebody gonna say this, or and you in school with these people, these your classmates. You know, like that's
Hmm.
man.
Yeah. Like today I actually watched some of my kids watching other YouTube videos of other kids doing dance routines that lasted for 7 seconds. And I was confused after the third round. So by the time the fourth round came, I'm like, yo, turn it off. I'm tired. I'm done. And they were like, no, we're trying to get it. And I'm like, yo, I've been trying to teach y'all how to do your own stuff. Y'all want to watch other people. it's just
It's
it's just
scary.
different. They're
'Cause
different than us, and we get so upset with them instead of trying to really understand where they're coming from. They really don't get it. They really don't get it.
it's scary because I'm like
I'm
that
probably
could
gonna get in trouble for this, but I
just
don't care.
just what they going through is like it could be that's a dark energy they probably can carry. So that's like I always thought that was scary. I'm like, yo, because they the future, man. At the end of the day, when you look at it, so I don't know. It's a solution
But they're
for it.
not dumb. But well, let me shut up.
Yeah, they'll
They're
come for
not
you then.
dumb. They're not dumb.
I'm just
Not
leaving it.
dumb.
They not dumb. We just gonna, but it takes some understanding. That it's simple as that. Just some understanding,
They're not dumb.
conversations.
They're brilliant. But in other ways, I'm nervous. But at the same time, we can say that other generations have said the same about us. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's not coming from the boomers, because I don't have to hear from them.
Yep. It's the same. It's a cycle. It's just gonna keep repeating itself.
Period.
It's definitely gonna keep repeating itself. So as far as new music, I know you say you building the catalog. Like when, not to put a timeline on it, obviously, but like when you think you will be releasing anything new.
So I would like to release an original cover arrangement by the end of the year, as well as a Christmas cover by the end of
Okay.
the year. Next year, I'm looking to definitely release a lot of unsheltered
Hey.
material, whether it's merch or EP or books, poems, anything like that. Like I've just been in the state of creating, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to answer that question, but definitely before the end of this year, at least one song. I
See,
don't want to commit to anything, but at the same time, I can say
no,
some new things are
I
coming.
definitely understand, and that's exactly why we're gonna speak more about it off air, cause just the name alone, like, ex-
Absolutely.
expands in
We know I
so many
love you,
different
brother.
areas. You know what I'm saying? So immediately, like when you said the series, I'm like, there it go. It can nowadays it works for so much. So definitely gonna have that conversation off air. Where can they find you at on social media? I know you change your name a lot. Where can they find you at on social media? You have one underscore, but then it'd be like three.
Okay, that's another one. Let me check though, because I did change one of my names. On Twitter, if anybody would like to find me, they can find me at UnCHELLtered. So at Unsheltered. And if anybody wants to follow me on Instagram, my name is at Shell, CHELL _IS _
See?
I see what you're saying. SKY. Shell _is _sky with Y. And Facebook, which I didn't know people were still on.
Yep.
People be trying to make me seem like I'm old with that, though. That's crazy.
No, people on there. Marcel on there all the time, yelling about stuff.
He's old. Listen.
Well,
So if anybody wants to find me on Facebook, my name is Shell, CHELL, and you can just put Blatt, BLATT. Well, no, BLAT. I'm sorry, and then everything should come up.
Dude, there it is. Listen, I'm glad you finally came around and was able to.
Oh, brother, don't say it like that.
Well, not like in the sense like you just was gone, nobody knew where you were. Like I knew how to get in touch with you, but just the fact that you overcame so
No, thank you
much.
for being patient. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And just the fact, like, watch what happens from here. That's why I said we gonna talk off air. Watch what happens from here, cause I'm gonna be on
I
you. Like,
don't
yo, look, I'm
know.
telling
People
you,
gonna be like, "Oh, she sounds crazy."
I'm telling you, I'm about to, I'm gonna be on off air. Like, look, you should do this. This would be dope if you know what I'm saying. Cause trust me, you got a brand that could like work in so many different ways.
Well, you know, bro, I definitely trust you. Thank you for having me. Shout outs to everybody. Listen, what I do want to say, I'm going to give everybody a number. I just need to find it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. I just really want to thank you for your time, for having me on here. If anybody ever feels the need that they have any type of suicidal thoughts, if you feel like you have any reason to not live, if you feel like you are at the end of your rope, please call 1-800-273-8255.
Say it again for him.
1-800-273-8255. That is the suicide hotline number. You don't have to feel ashamed. You don't have to feel like there's anything wrong with you. We all need help. And sometimes the help that we need is beyond us. So I would just encourage you. That's my most transparent moment of the whole entire interview. If you feel like you need help, please call that number. It helped me, and I hope that it will help you. Tech, I thank you so much for having me here. If you need that number, please call it. Please call it. It saved my life, and I hope it saves yours. If you're listening, you need it.
That's 100.
And if not, if you know somebody that needs it,
I was just about to say.
give
Give it to somebody else who can call it. Cause listen, this was needed. Next level. Like I told you, I said we're gonna unpack. And you was ready. You was like, I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to let it out. I'm like, all right, let's get to it.
Let me live out my dream. Let me live out as what I intended to be. If you doubted me, then I can probably see why my success is not what you expected to be. But I'ma live out my dream. So let me live out my dream.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.